Rento Mojo. Okay, nice. I just saw an ad of Rento Mojo yesterday on Instagram. I saw the website just yesterday. It's a pretty good concept. Alright, I'll just introduce myself as well. Hi guys, my name is Rushabh. I'm from Mumbai. I have about 11 years of experience overall. 4 years has been purely about training and consulting in everything related to Excel and a couple of other things as well. Before that, I was a project manager in a company for about 7 years. So that's my overall background. I also write a blog which is called Excel Rush. So you can check it out, excelrush.com, and also YouTube. The channel is Excel Rush. So there's a lot of tips and tricks of Excel that I put up there. That's just to share my knowledge. Otherwise, training is the main thing that I do. Others, you want to talk about yourself? Indraj, Madhulika, Rahul, Soumya, tell us about yourself. All right, I think let's begin, everyone. Shall we all begin? Okay, Soumya from Delhi, working on research-based consulting assignments. Awesome, thanks, Soumya. Okay, so let's begin with some basic things about the course. I hope everybody has attended the last week's introduction. Yes, everyone, the onboarding class. Everybody attended it? Anybody here who did not attend the last week's introduction class, the onboarding class? Anybody here who did not attend? Guys, I need all of you to be active on the chat box. Please come on the chat box. Only 5 people have replied yet out of about 14 people. Fanindra, you did not attend that. Okay. You will check the video later. But do you have your logins, everyone? Do you have your logins? Okay, you checked the recording, right? That's fine, Kunal. That's fine. Perfect. Fanindra, what about you? Did you have your login? I hope you have your login, Fanindra. Okay. So in the break, Fanindra, quickly check with Digital Vidya, because after the break you are going to have to download a file from it. Only then you'll be able to learn on that file. Guys, it is very important that you will follow certain things. So what are we going to follow? First thing is attendance is compulsory. Okay, have you been told how much attendance is compulsory? Have you been told about that, everyone? How much is it? So 75% attendance compulsory is live. All right. But according to me, your 100% is compulsory. Why? Because even if you miss the 25%, you have to see the recording. Is that okay, everyone? Is that okay? And you have to see the recording in that week itself. Don't see after 4 weeks because it doesn't make any sense. The reason is that everything that you are going to learn is all in continuation. So if you miss 1 week, you will be lost in the next week. So I understand if for whatever personal reason you are not able to make to the class, but you must make sure that you see the recording in that week itself. Is that okay, everyone? Yes, please. Hmm? Next is before every class. Okay, what all will you do before every class? So this is point number 2 actually. This is a part of this. All right. What all will you do before every class? First is you go into your login and download the required class files. Okay, it's called content in the backend. Is that okay, everyone? So when you go into your backend, you will find this content. So let me just quickly show you in case anybody doesn't know. So that's your login. You go to digitalvidya.com/training. You log in with your user ID password that's been given to you. Then I will have multiple courses. You will have only this course. So you go into this course, and when you go down, you have this week 1. So you click on week 1 and download everything from this. All right. Whatever is mentioned, you download everything. Quiz is something that you cannot download. It's something that you have to fill it up here. But everything else you download. Is that okay? Is that okay, everyone? So you will not come into the class without downloading. All right. Doesn't make sense because otherwise you'll be lost what is happening where. So we'll be learning all those files itself. That's why we've given you those files. All right. Next. Next. After every class, right? After every class, what you need to do is solve the assignment and submit it. Okay. And solve the quiz. Yes. Also see the recording for any revision. If you want to revise anything, also you can see the recording. Is that okay, everyone? I hope you're taking these notes. I hope you're taking these notes. Hmm? So the fourth point is notes taking. It is extremely important because I'm not going to give you any textbook to then refer to as a textbook. All right. If this was possible to learn with a textbook itself, you don't need me. You don't need to come for this class, right? You can just buy a book and just start reading it, right? So this is very difficult to read through a book. That's the reason that we are even doing such a class and you are also attending such a class. Yes, so it's very important that you take notes in your own words. Okay, certain times I will write like this in the notepad. So you can directly copy paste. So I'll also copy paste and put it in the chat box like this. I will certain times put it in the chat box like this. So you have some ready-made notes. All right. But otherwise you have to take it yourself. Is that okay, everyone? Is that okay? Hmm? Okay, everyone? Hmm? Perfect. Then you have to be very active on the chat box. All right. So what are the reasons for the chat box? One is simply that you want to ask a question. So you just write quest and you follow with your question. All right. So what will this tell me that, okay, I have to wait for somebody's question and I have to answer it. All right. Why do you write QUES? So it's just easy for me to understand that, okay, this is a question that's coming up. Otherwise, because when 20 people will chat together, it gets difficult for me to understand everybody's chat. So if you write quest, I know it's a question. Is that okay, everyone? Hmm? And I will ask this every time. Is it okay? Are you following? Yes. So you got to reply with a yes or no, or maybe, or whatever you want to, right? So everybody should just keep talking to me. The reason is because I can't see you face to face. I will not see your body language to understand that whether you're understanding or no, right? So the only way for me to understand whether you're following or no is by this. If you were in front of me, I could have seen by body language also, but it doesn't matter because this is our tool to understand whether you're following or no. So whenever you'll reply to me, I know that okay, somebody is not following, so I have to repeat or I have to wait for that person to finish. All right. And very important is I will do a lot of hands-on things. Okay. I will give you a lot of hands-on work to do. So whenever I say, okay, guys, do this. Once you're done with that, you got to write done on the box. So when you say done, I know, okay, you are done with what I had asked you to do. Like that, when everybody's done comes, I know I can carry on. Otherwise, I'll wait for everybody's done to come in because I don't want to leave anybody behind. Is that okay? Is that okay? Hmm? Perfect. And of course, if you want to me to repeat anything, that's something that you did not understand, whatever, that is whatever you want to write in the chat box. That's up to you. Next is interaction, right? So of course we talked about the interaction on the chat box, but otherwise something, if it's very difficult to write, suppose you're trying to put a question and it's very difficult to write that question in the chat box or it's too long, you can unmute yourself and talk to me. So just tell me that you have a question and then unmute yourself and you can talk to me. No problem at all. All right. So you don't have to be on mute all the time. When you have a question or when you want to talk to me, you can be on unmute. But otherwise, follow the chat box because if everybody starts talking together, we'll be in a complete mess. Is that okay, everyone? Make sense? Make sense? So I'm going to copy paste this into the chat box again. You can just take it up if you want. Hmm? All right. With that, let's begin. So I hope everybody has downloaded this presentation and content and assignment. So please do please download that if you haven't yet. And we're going to begin with the first thing right now. It's going to be a presentation. This is going to be the only presentation that we are going to do in the entire 15 weeks as such. Only long presentation. All right. So today's class is kind of a understanding of what all we are going to learn, but otherwise it will be only hands-on. All right, so you'll have to do things yourself. So for the first 1 hour we will see this and then we'll start with the hands-on. Okay, so let's begin. Everybody's charged up, I hope so. Introduction to analytics and business intelligence. How many of us have heard these words, these three words? Hmm? So do we really know the difference between the three words? Not really, because many a times things are overlapping, and it is true because there's no pure definition of what is business analytics versus only analytics. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of overlap in these, but we'll just try to understand what they mean. So first, let's go to analytics. So analytics is the process of breaking a complex topic or substance into smaller parts. Yes, in order to gain more understanding of it. So my question to you is, right now you are suppose sitting in your home in Delhi. Okay, let's take an example. You are sitting in your home in Delhi and you want to go to Mumbai. What is the first thing you will do? Okay, so let's say you have already booked your tickets, you have your flight tickets ready, you have your cab waiting down ready. Okay, you know how you're going to travel, everything is planned. Your bags are packed, everything is done. Now what will you do? Everything is done. Kunal, everything is done. So how will you head for the airport? Go and sit in the cab and go to the airport. Perfect. So Trisha, I'll go even 1 point below that. So I'll say first thing I got to get out of the house. Yes or no? Yes or no? First thing you'll get out of the house. Then you'll take the lift or you take the stairs. then you go down, then you find your cab, then you go put your bag in the cab, then you sit in the cab, and then you start. So if you are able to break a complex thing to such small parts, you will never have any issue in analytics. It will become very simple, because analytics is nothing which is difficult. It's just about solving one small problem at a time. Is that okay, everyone? If you try to build, so let's say you are a construction builder, right? Can you make a building in just one shot? Can you make a building in one shot? You cannot. First you got to lay the foundation, then you got to do this, then you got to do that. Yes, everything you got to do one by one. Only then at the end of 2 3 years, your 7 story or 10 story building will be up, right? uh Jumps to the top as soon as I scroll down, so I'll not. Yeah, Padma, I think that's a little technical issue from GoToMeeting side, the platform that we use. Suddenly, a couple of people are facing this issue. I think they'll solve it in this week or something. I hope so. So don't worry. I understand what you're saying. Hmm? All right. Okay. So that's how you have to break up every problem into smaller parts to be able to solve it. So what are the kind of analysis that normally people do? So you know about financial statement analysis. That's the analysis of the accounts and economic prospects of a firm, right? Then you see fundamental and technical analysis. So fundamental analysis of a stock would be from a long term point of view, what's going to happen with this stock, and technical would be from a short term point of view. So like this, there are multiple kind of statements and analysis topics that you can cover. We're going to look at the fundamental understanding of how analysis is done using these platforms: Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Hmm? So again, analysis of data is a process of inspecting, cleaning, transforming, and modeling data with the goal of discovering useful information. Conclusions result in decision making. Now, whatever you do, in the end, you're looking for a decision making. Yes or no? You want to be able to take some decisions based on your analytics. You're not doing analytics just for the sake of it, right? That doesn't make sense. So you got to remember this, that if you were analyzing your data and at the end of your analysis you were not able to take any decision out of it, then whatever analysis you did was worthless. Yes or no? Hmm? So always keep this in mind. I see a lot of people bringing up 25 reports from a set of data set, from one data set, saying that, oh, I analyzed it in 25 different ways. But how many of those ways really resulted in a decision, help you make a decision? Only those are the ones that really made sense. Otherwise, everything was just good to have, just good to have or good to know. Doesn't make any sense. Hmm? So it's very important that you look at decision making. Now there is an information ladder that was created by Professor Norman Longworth. What he said was that when you start learning about your data, these are the things that you will slowly follow. So the first thing that you will see is you will get data, right? Let's say from multiple situations, multiple scenarios, multiple sources, right? Then all that data gives you some information, and it gives you then some knowledge out of it, right? So information that the data gives you is your analytics, how you derive information out of it. Based on that information you get knowledge and understanding of your data and your business. The more and more you do, the more insights you get out of it, and with experience, with more and more of it doing, getting more and more insights, you build wisdom. All right, so this is what professor said. What I have understood out of this is that at least in this class, okay, you got to focus on the first 2 points. Those are the 2 points that can be clearly defined in numbers, right? I'm not saying the other parts we are not going to learn. Of course we are going to learn. So we are going to understand that out of that information what knowledge, what understanding you got. But with more and more experience that will get refined, because that's every individual's perspective, right? So that is something that we cannot really teach. You have to pick it up yourself in terms of doing it more and more and more. Is that making sense, everyone? Hmm? So we are going to focus on the first two parts. First, how to get data from multiple sources, how to clean data, how to get correct data, and how to gather information out of that data. All right. Now let's just see what are, obviously there are endless capabilities of analytics, but we'll just take 5 points so that we understand a little about it. So I'm going to start with the right side one, which is helps you know your business. Anybody here in a business who is handling your own business? Anybody here? I just want to take some case study. Anybody here who's handling some business or any family business that you have? Anyone that you know about a bit? Okay, no problem. Let's take an example. So I'm going to take an example that we are going to actually use as our case study to learn everything. All right. So our case study is going to be a t-shirt sales company, a company that sells t-shirts. All right. So let's say you are the owner of that company who sells t-shirts. Can we all imagine that, everyone? Can we all imagine that? Hmm? All right. So the first thing is helps you know your business. Can you all think of certain points? How will analytics and what kind of analytics will help you know your own business better? Think of some points. Okay, Nitya says if I know my sales data, I can take decisions better. I know my business well. Yes, good. What else? Model design size it sells more. Okay, so in sales, you want to say which design, which size sells more. Okay, Hemrata says what is my stock currently. Trisha says market preference. So if I do a market survey, I will know my business better. Perfect. What products to have, what inventory to do. So costing, sales versus spending, very good. Competitors, what are my competitors doing? So if I analyze their data, I will know my business better. Yes. What else? Correct. Who are buying my products? Very important. Who are your customers? What are their profiles, right? What are their gender? What is their age group? Where are they from? Are they buying online or are they buying in stores? What is the average quantity that they buy, right? From which city? Correct. Yes, so Padma is saying what is the customer acquisition cost? That's what it's called. How long does it take to do it? That's the time duration that it takes to get a customer on board, and the cost is customer acquisition cost. Aishwari, can you explain demographics better for everyone? That's a very generic word. What kind of demographics are you talking about? All right, so gender is one demographic. Season wise data, perfect, Nitya. So what happens in which month? So month wise sales, right? What suppose, guys, suppose, uh, okay, Aishwari, before I go into that, Aishwari, never think like that. All right, never think like that because we are into analytics. We have to be precise of what we are doing. Right? If you say etc., it doesn't make any sense. Okay, season wise data. So suppose guys, if you get your month wise data of the last 25 years, and every time October is higher sales, why is it? Clear indication it's a Diwali festival, right? So every time October is higher sales. So like that, you can define a lot of things. I give you the very easiest example, but like that you can define a lot of things. Hmm? Like why sales are happening in a particular time period every year. Perfect. I think we got a lot of points. So that's what helps you grow your business. Now, what kind of things will help you reduce the risk of sudden losses? What kind of data will help in that? Reduce the risk of sudden losses. Okay, so least selling SKUs, but how will it help you reduce the risk of sudden loss? Yes, inventory tracking will help, because suddenly if I get an order of 10,000 t-shirts and I don't have anything in the inventory, I will not be able to take that order. So that's a huge loss. Perfect, that's perfect. But how will least selling SKUs help in that, Kunal? Can you explain? Okay, non-operating stores. I would put non-operating stores in the third circle, which is helps identify low performing metrics, right? There's no loss if I have a non-performing store. Sudden loss, I'm saying sudden loss. Okay. Kunal is saying that if I have a lot of inventory of one particular product and suddenly I stop getting orders for that, then that product will keep lying in my warehouse for n number of months and it will get wasted. So that's a sudden loss. Okay. Guys, suppose you were also manufacturing your t-shirts. If you take out accidents data, that okay, what are the accidents that happen in my factories? All right. And if you are able to understand where accidents happen most and reduce them, you will be able to reduce the risk of sudden losses. Yes or no? Make sense? Hmm? Suppose all, let's say you are right now, for example, across India, you're selling t-shirts across India, but you figure out that 40% of your customers are only from one city, that is Chennai, for example. 40% of your customers are only from Chennai. Tomorrow, if Chennai gets a competitor for you, suppose there is a new company in Chennai who gives same kind of t-shirts like you, but at a cheaper price, people from Chennai may start buying from there, right? So what will happen? Suddenly 40% of your customer base will go away. That's a huge sudden loss. So what you need to do is you need to know location wise what is the percentage of customers. So if I have a high concentration in one or two cities, I know I have to dilute that. So I got to increase my sale in other cities in anyhow, so that I'm not focused on only one location that can give me that kind of losses. Is that okay? Everyone, make sense? Hmm? Coming to the third circle. See guys, there are endless points. So I'm just trying to open up your minds at what are the possibilities to think about. Hmm? So what is the third point? Helps identify low performing metrics. So somebody already said that I want to know which all of my stores are not performing well. That was one. What else? What else? Machinery wise, okay. So if I have three factories, I want to know which factory, which machines are not performing well. So I know that okay, I have to either repair it or replace it, so that my manufacturing doesn't get affected. Very good, Trisha. Very good point. Hemlata, very good again. Which colors don't sell, right? Salesperson wise. Kunal, very good. So which sales people are not performing well? So they are my low performing metrics. Padma, what do you mean by market research in this? What kind of market research are you talking about? No, that would not help in identifying low performing metrics, right? That would help you understand your business. That's the first point. So if you know your customers better, you can bring those kind of products more. Low performing metrics would be whatever you are already having right now. Out of that, how do you identify low performing metrics? Low performing metrics could also be, guys, products where your margins are low. Yes, that's my low performing metric. Yes, very good, Trisha. So which all designs are not selling better? So that's my low performing metric. Make sense, everyone? Returns, yes, that's what your margins, your returns. Correct. Coming to the fourth point, enables real time analysis. What kind of real time analysis would you like to do? Very good. Order versus inventory. Excellent. So whenever somebody is punching an order in the system, so if I want to buy, so suppose a customer comes to me, I'm sitting in the store and a customer comes and tells me, okay, I want 25 red t-shirts. Okay. So he's a wholesale person. So he wants to buy 25 t-shirts from me and then he'll go and resell it. So if he says I want 25 red t-shirts, I immediately can know from my system whether I have 25 in my inventory or not. If I don't have that, I will take the order and not be able to fulfill it. But if I check in my inventory, okay, I have 25. I can immediately tell him that, okay, I have it, you will get it in 1 hour. Or it will get delivered to you by tomorrow because it's in my godown or it's in my warehouse. Make sense, everyone? Make sense? Hmm? Also, what real time can you do? You can get the sales from all your stores automatically sync into a single location. So at any point of time, I want to know what orders are happening from which city, from what store, everything I can know on the spot. That to live. Hmm? All right. Coming to the last point, improve decision making process. So obviously, all this results in better decision making. Yes, everyone. That hopes I hope that is clear. All this that we were doing was actually to get better decisions. Yes. So those are the capabilities of analytics. Of course, it's endless. So I just try to open up your minds on these points so you understand how to think when we are learning. Now, when you do an analytics process, suppose you are working in an organization where right now there is no analytics happening at all, and you want to bring in that kind of culture and you want to start making analytics. All right. So don't expect that you'll be able to start taking decisions on the first day itself from your data. No, it's not going to happen. If your employees are 1,000 employees or even for that matter 100 employees, to get your data organized first is the first step. All right. So first step is you get your data organized. Next is you come up with basic reports first. Overall reports, are you getting enough properly or not? Are they matching your physical inventory? Because if your data is a mismatch, there itself you are making a mistake. Yes or no? Let's say you have 5,000 t-shirts in your warehouse, but the data is telling you you have 4,500. There itself is a mismatch, right? So get your basic reports first very clear that everything is perfectly running. Your data is getting organized properly first. Hmm? Then what you do is you come up with self-analysis. All right. So you give people individually their reports or departments their reports so they can again start matching their reports with their own data. So if I am a salesperson and I'm putting a register, I'm keeping a register of whatever I'm selling. And whenever I punch in an order, the system is also telling me that, okay, this is the sale that you have made. If my register and my system is talking the same thing, I know data is correct, right? So like that, every person in the company can come back and tell you that, okay, there is a data mismatch here or there's a data mismatch there. So before you go into any decision making, you know that your data is not mismatched anywhere. You have 100 people who are testing your system and getting you results whether the data is correct or not. Make sense, everyone? Make sense? From that, once your data is good and everything is perfect, your management will come and tell you, okay, now that the data is correct, you tell me what's happening. All right, in the company, what's happening. So you get management reports. And also along with that, you can come up with predictive reports. So that if you give the management last 5 years of data, based on that, you can tell the management, okay, if this is what happened in the last 5 years, we are saying this is what will happen in the next 1 year. Or if we come up with a new product line of t-shirts, let's say a new design, Based on the current sales of current designs, we can predict that okay, this design will sell like this. Is that okay, everyone? Make sense? Hmm? And of course, based on that, you get actionable results, actionable insights, so you can start taking decisions. So if you follow this pattern, this is something that I've created myself, everyone. This is not copied from anywhere, something that I have created myself. So if you follow this pattern, you will be able to define your analytics very, very well. Your company will not fail. If you try to take predictive analysis from day one, you will fail because your current data is only a mismatch. First step is to ensure that your current data is absolutely correct. Going forward. Now that was analytics. Now we're going to talk about business analytics. Honestly, there's not much of a difference as such. It's just an overlap. But if you read the second paragraph, it tells you that it makes you statistical analysis and predictive modeling and all that. So it's more about the skills that you have rather than just the numbers. All right. So what kind of businesses? Why do businesses need analytics? One simple thing is if you take an entire sales data, let's say your sales data is of 10,000 rows. Can you just glance through that data and tell me what is color wise sales? Can you? You cannot, right? You can't just look at 10,000 rows of data and tell me, okay, black color t-shirts, so many were sold, blue color t-shirts, so many were sold. You cannot do that. That's not what a human being can do naturally. So hence, you got to summarize your information. So then you can tell me color wise sales, store wise sales, region wise sales, product wise sales. Make sense, everyone? Hmm? And then suppose if you have 25 years of data, you can even look at charts. So if it is 25 years of data, you can come up with a line chart which will tell you when it went up, when it went down. Suppose you want to see target versus achieved. You can look at a waterfall chart. Anybody knows what is a waterfall chart? Okay, so this is the first piece of homework that you got to do. You got to find what is a waterfall chart, and next class when we meet, you got to tell me what is a waterfall chart and where all you can use it. Yes, everyone. Hmm? Hmm? Third is store wise sales, a bar chart. A column chart and bar chart is pretty similar. Column is straight, bar is horizontal. Hmm? Now again, you can take decisions based on data. So let me give you a simple example. All right, let me give you a simple example. You have two stores, Mumbai and you have Guwahati. Hmm? Mumbai, there are number of employees is 20 and sales is total 2 lakhs. All right. In Guwahati, the number of employees is 25 and sales is also 2 lakh. Okay, or let's say sales is 2 lakh 20,000. All right, which store is doing better sales? Which store is doing better sales? So first shot, if you see, you may think that Guwahati is doing better because the sales figure is better, right? Clearly, right? So yes, of course there are multiple factors, but just looking at this data, just this much data, if you don't have any other data, then by looking at it, you can easily say that okay, Guwahati is doing better in terms of number. But when I divide this number by the number of employees per employee, what I get is a higher number in Mumbai. Yes or no? Yes. So if I have only this much data, I can easily infer that okay, Mumbai is clearly doing a better sale per employee. So if I add 5 employees here, this might go to 250 instead of 220. Yes or no? So this is something that you got to understand, that you don't look at the only outer line data, you also go inside and look at the underlying data of why this data is like this. Hmm? So a very simple example, very basic example, but that's the simplest way to understand that you cannot just look at the macro figures, you got to go inside and check what is really happening inside. Hmm? All right. Now coming to the third term, which was business intelligence. Now this is a very broad term, all right, which includes all of this. So what all it doesn't include? It includes data cleaning, meaning eliminating junk, errors in your raw data, then modeling it, building relationships, dimensions, okay. Then transformation. Transformation means actually extract what you really require and leave out all the other data. Hmm? Analyzing that data and then representing that data better in the dashboards, analytics, whatever you want to look at it. What are all these terms right now? Don't worry about that. We are anyways going to see all this in direct and indirect methods. Don't worry about that. But you can think of simply these last three terms, that you got to collect your data, analyze your data, and view your data better. Yes or no? Are those three terms simple enough to understand? Yes. Collect, analyze, and view. The upper terms, don't worry about it. It was more of textbook kind of words. You don't have to worry about that at all. You just worry about the last three words. That's more important. Hmm? So now, what are the tools from Microsoft to do BI, to do business intelligence? First is obviously Microsoft Excel. Second is something called as MSBI, that is Microsoft BI with SQL Server. All right. So there are three parts of that, which is SSIS. What is SS? SS is SQL Server. IS is Integration Services. So SQL Server Integration Services, SSIS. Similarly, you have SSAS and SSRS. So you remember these three words: collect, analyze, and view. These are those three words. So integration will collect, analysis will analyze, and reporting will view your data. Is that okay, everyone? Hmm? And then you have Power BI, which we are going to anyways learn properly. That is, there are two methods, there are two applications. One is a desktop application, and second is a cloud-based application. So we'll talk about that also. What are the things that we are going to really learn in Excel? Okay, when we start learning today, so we'll start with the fundamentals. Then we're going to even and calculations and data cleaning. Then we'll get into working with a lot of conditions. Yes, Kunal, what's the question? Yes, I'll talk about that. Don't worry. So the next slide is that only. I'll just talk about that. Don't worry. Hmm? The next two slides are on that only. All right. So in Excel, we'll start with the fundamentals of Excel. Then we get into data cleaning and also a lot of calculations. Then we look at working with conditions, that is if and or. Then we look at manipulating the data using your indirect, using VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index match, offset, all of that. Then we analyze data and make predictive analysis, and then look at visualization. And the visualization part in Excel, we will not look at it much in deep in Excel because it's very similar in Power BI. All right, so we'll focus on that on Power BI. So you know how to connect Excel with Power BI, and then look at the visualization part there because it's much more powerful in Power BI. So coming to the second part, so I talked about Excel. Now coming to the second part, which is SQL Server. So these are three different applications by itself. So Excel is one application, SQL Server is one application, and Power BI is one application. All right. So just to give you a little brief, Excel is like a all-rounder. You can do everything in Excel, right? Yes or no? I hope everybody's used Excel at least somewhat. Yes, everyone. So you can enter data, you can store data, you can analyze data, you can view your data, everything you can do in one single application. But it's single user based. You cannot have multiple people editing the same file at the same time. Yes. You can't have multiple people editing the same file at the exact same time. That's not possible in Excel. But in SQL, you can get data from multiple sources. Okay, so SQL is more towards a database kind of a software where you store the data really, really well, and you can do a lot of analysis in that also and view your data from that. But this is a huge application. It's a very heavy application used when, let's say, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people are entering data in the same system. Make sense, everyone? Make sense? Kunal, I hope I'm explaining that better. Hmm? So Excel was a single user based application. This is a multi user based application, which is much more enterprise level. Hmm? There are people who build careers only in one of the parts of SQL. So let's say you are doing SSAS, you will entire life to SSAS. That much in depth you can go. Hmm? Then coming to the Power BI. So Power BI is basically a reporting software, a dashboarding software, where you can pull data from multiple sources and display it in a dashboard. So it's like, let's say you are the owner of this t-shirt sales company. So in one report, you will see the sales. Next to that, you will see how many number of employees you are having. Next to that, you will see what is the total payroll, that is salary data that you are giving to your employees. Next to that, you will see what is the inventory in my warehouse right now. So you are getting data from multiple sources and everything you're seeing next to each other. So in a single shot, you know what's happening in the company. Make sense? All right. Coming to the other BI tools, those are from Microsoft. Coming to the other BI tools, you can look at this later. I'm not going to talk about it much. So there's a link. You can have a look at that also. This gives you a lot of knowledge about other products that are there in the market. Hmm. We're going to focus obviously on these three: Excel, SQL, and Power BI. Now let's look at some industry examples where you will understand how to think of data. So the first example is of a travel company. So until now we were all talking about that t-shirt sales company. Now you think about a travel company. So let's say you are owning this travel company or you're starting this travel company. What all, or not starting actually, let's say that you have been running this company for 10 years, for example. Okay, you are a travel agency. You're running this company for 10 years. You have a lot of packages, is that everything. What kind of data would you want to store and analyze? Can you all start thinking and putting on the chat box? You can take 5 minutes, no problem. Yeah, take 5 minutes. You don't have to write immediately, but make a proper paragraph and write it and put it in the chat box. What kind of data would you like to store, and what kind of analysis would you like to do? Guys, take 5 minutes. I'll just get some water for myself. Give me 2 minutes. I'll just come back. Okay. Places most visited. What is family holiday places? Okay. Okay. Hotels. Okay. Very good. Where do specific region? Okay. Very good. All right. Excellent. High low season time. Okay. Very good. Hmm. Customer profile. Okay. Income profile. Students working. Very good. Single or not single or businessman. Very good. Average profit per sale. Okay. I don't think you can derive an average profit per sale. Maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I guess you can. Right. But then your location, if it's different, Padma, I don't think. Yeah, if I'm doing only abroad tours, then maybe it makes sense because a national tour versus abroad tour will be a huge difference in terms of percentage, right? Regular feedback. Okay, very good. Hmm. All right. I hope you all got an idea about this. How to think, what kind of data to start looking at. Yes, everyone. Hmm? Okay, let's take one more example of luxury jewelry. So now I'm going to give you a scenario where you're coming up with a new bridal collection. Okay. What kind of people will you target? You're coming up with bridal collection, a new bridal collection. What kind of people will you target? 15. Ah, okay. Okay. So those who are getting married, how will you know, Kunal, who are getting married? What is middle class rich? What is young? What is young? How do you know what brides are looking for destination wedding? No, which are the people you will target? Simple. Who may be perceived will get married. What do you mean by that? Guys, do you understand what I'm trying to ask you? See, whatever you are saying is all subjective. You got to define what you're looking for. So when you say young, you got to define what is young. When you say somebody who may get married, what do you mean by that? There has to be some metric of how to identify who's going to get married right now. Yes or no? So, for example, I can say on Facebook, I can target that okay, people who are engaged, whose marital status is engaged, Relationship status is engaged. Make sense, everyone? Make sense? Right? So I can target those people. Like that, you got to identify for every metric, because in analytics, if you don't define a metric, how will the system know what is the meaning of young? Make sense? Make sense, everyone? So whenever you think of any kind of analysis, you got to be very clear of what you're looking for. Why am I repeating this? The reason is, Param. Oh, okay. I just saw a message. No problem, Param. You can continue from here. We've just done some introduction, so don't worry about that, guys. Param has written a message to me. So one more request to everyone. I think I forgot to write it in the rules. So whenever you write a message on the chat box, there is a box called to. Can you all see that box? Param, can you see that box? In that, you should always have everyone written. So unless you really want to tell me something in private, that's a different thing. But otherwise, you can write to everyone so that I know what somebody is talking. So if somebody is asking a question to me, if you write it to me personally and I'm answering, others will not know what I'm answering to. Right? So Param just joined. That's no problem, Param. Don't worry about that. Every session is recorded, Param. So the first 1 hour you can see it from the session. And we've not started with Excel yet. We'll start with the Excel after a break. So don't worry about that at all. Is that okay, Param? Cool. Thanks, Param. All right. So again, to what I was saying, yes, you got to define the number. So the reason I'm repeating this so many times is whatever we are going to learn is going to be more towards question answer based. So I'll be giving you a question and you got to solve it. Yes or no? Is that making sense, everyone? That's how it's going to be. But in real life, are you going to get those questions from anybody like a handwritten question paper? No. You have to make your questions and you only have to answer your questions. Right? So to make your questions, you got to understand that there has to be proper metrics for everything. Yes, is that okay? So one piece of homework that you got to do, there's no such assignment as such in this week, but there is a piece of homework that I want you to do, and you can actually give it to us, or you can just keep it with yourself. You don't have to submit. But what you need to do is go through these three examples. So the first is a travel company, second is a luxury jewelry company, third is a stockbroker company. So again, I want you to go back and rethink of what kind of data would you want to collect and analyze, what kind of people you want to target for these kind of companies, and what decisions you want to make out of that data. You can write it in your own words. That's absolutely fine. Is that okay, everyone? Will you do this? It will help you open up your mind. Okay, so when we start learning, actually we'll understand how to do everything. Hmm? Cool. All right, so with that we are done with this particular PowerPoint. Now let's get into the Excel. So I hope everybody has had the login and you can download the Excel and open this Excel, everyone. How many of you don't have the file? How many of you don't have the file? Please tell me quickly. It has 3 blank sheets and 1 t-shirt sales. So whoever doesn't have it, please go into your backend LMS. Do you have the login, Indraj? Do you have the login, Indraj? Do you have the login? Hmm. Okay, okay. So Indraj doesn't have. Who else doesn't have? Guys, who else don't have? Please tell me quickly. Okay, Indraj, Trisha. What's your name? I don't know your name. Can you please tell me your name? Hello, Rahul. Yeah, Rahul. Okay, guys, I just spoke to Rahul from Digital Vidya. He works with Deepak. So, can you all call whoever don't have? Can you please call on Rahul or Deepak's number? If you have Deepak's number, don't you call on that only. Anyways, Rahul will pick it up. He has his phone right now. So, whoever doesn't have the login, please call him quickly so that you get the login from him. And according to him, it would have been sent in an email. So, if you can check your email also in case it's gone in the spam or whatever, check that also once. So, please try doing that. Hmm. Okay, in the meantime, let's take a break. So every class, I will give a break around 11:20, 11:30. So right now I'm giving a little break earlier so that you can do this in the break time. You don't have to waste our class time. So it's 11 7-ish right now. Can we all, where is it to download? Okay, I'll just talk about the download. Guys, whoever doesn't have, please check your emails. Okay, if you have got an email with a login, you can do that. Otherwise, you call on Deepak or Rahul's number and he'll give you the details. How to download? When you go in, you get this course, right? You get your course. When you log in, you see this course. So you go into your course, all right, and in that you go to week one, you open week one, and you will get all your data. So you can download it from this. All right. So guys, let's take a break. Can we all be back by 11:30? No, no, regular timing is Param, it's 10 to 1 only. I don't know why this miscommunication happened. 2 to 5 is some other batch. 10 to 1 is your batch. This break is for 20 minutes, guys, so that everybody can get this problem sorted. Prasiddhi, that's what I'm saying. You got to download these things, the content, the presentation, the assignment, all of this. Hmm? Guys, whoever don't have, please go ahead and get the details quickly. I'll start at 11:30. By that time, everybody should have the file. Please go ahead and do it quickly. We'll see in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, sorry, 11:30.
गंदगी हो रही है, दर्द होगा इसलिए।
Continue everyone. Continue everyone. I hope everybody's got the content. You all have opened this file, the Excel file. Okay. Param, you got to go to week one and download this content. Guys, please let's not waste any more time. Everybody, please quickly go to week one and click on this content. That's what you got to download. That will give you this Excel file. Everybody, please do this quickly. Please tell me who all have don't have this file open yet. How many of you don't have this file open yet? Please tell me quickly. What do you mean something is wrong with my Excel? How do I help you in that? You will need Excel. Okay, guys, whoever has not been able to download, don't worry. For now, at least just open a blank Excel file. Let's begin. Let's not waste any more time. I need to cover certain things before we complete today. So just open a blank Excel file, even if you've not been able to do. There's only one sheet in this, which I'll tell you then what to do. Guys, for the last time I'm showing this, Fanindra, please pay attention what I'm showing now. Everybody, please pay attention. You go to your course in your login, go to week one, and click on this content. That's what you need to download. Everybody, please pay attention on this. So last time I'm showing this. You go to your course, go to week one, and go to the content. That's what you go to download. And please don't write to me in private. Write to me to everyone, to public, so that others know what you're asking. So when you go to content, you will get this download practice sheet. So go there, click on that and download this. So this will open up. That's your Excel. Yes, everyone. All right. I'm going to begin. Everyone, please observe carefully. Next 2 minutes, just see on my screen. In case you've not been able to download the file, don't worry. Just observe on my screen. Yes, everyone, please just observe on my screen. Hmm? All right. So when I say Excel, basically we got to see the menu on top. So first thing on top that you see is the file name. Below that you have your entire menu. A menu has a lot of tabs, right? Home, insert, page layout. Can you all see those tabs? Can you see those tabs, everyone? Hmm? How many of you don't have the first file tab? Instead of file, you have a circle there. How many of you have that? Okay. So in case you have a circle up there, like how Prasiddhi has, it means you're using Excel 2007, which is a very old version. So it'll be great if you can upgrade it to at least 2010 or higher. I have 2016. So if you can upgrade it, will be great. If not, don't worry at all. Only a couple of things will not work, which anyways is absolutely fine for now. Okay, but if you can, then upgrade it later on. All right. Formulas and everything will remain same. Don't worry. But otherwise, just the options are a little better in the last class of this Excel. So in the menu, you have multiple things. You have a long box which is called formula bar. Can you see that? Yes, Param, if you have the 2011 version, again the look will be very different. So things will work, but you will have to find the options. It will be great if you can get the 2016 version for Mac. That will look very similar to this. Hmm? All right. So you see this long box, everyone. That's the formula bar. What is the significance of the formula bar? Anybody knows? What is the significance of the formula bar? Right. So basically, you are saying that you can put a formula there. Yes or no? Right. Hmm. What you can do is you can edit a formula there. Yes, you can also edit a formula there. But the main thing is that you can check your formula. Okay. So when I say, for example, equal to 4 plus 6, everybody has done this much in Excel. At least this much basic everybody knows in Excel. Yes, everyone. So when you do this, you get a 10 here, but on top you get equal to 4 plus 6. Make sense? Make sense? So that is where you can check your formula. You don't have to always check your formula in the cell. You can check your formula up there. That is one of the biggest significances of the formula bar. All right. Now coming to below that, obviously you have your entire sheet. So let's start learning basics. A sheet is made up of rows and columns. Obviously rows are 1, 2, 3, 4 and columns are ABCD. Everybody knows that. So a cell is called as A1. Yes, everyone. A cell is named as A1. So a single cell reference, that's what I would call it. A1 would be a single cell reference, right? Now do it with me. Keep your cursor on A1, keep control pressed and click on B5. A1, keep control pressed and click on B5. How many cells are selected? Two cells are selected, right? A1 and B5. Param, whenever I say control, you always use either control or command. You try command also. It may work sometimes with command or with control. Check both whenever I say control. Alright. So when you say A1 and B5, you chose two single cell references, right? But what will come in between an A1 and B5, between the A1 and B5? Representatively, what will come between A1 and B5? So a comma will come. Alright. So how I will represent this as a comma. So A1 comma B5 means two single cell references. How did we do this? We first clicked on A1, kept control pressed and clicked on B5, right? We kept control pressed and clicked on B5 with our mouse, right? So now we have A1 and B5. I hope you're taking notes, everyone. So this we got using the control key. Now you'll tell me, where is the comma? I don't see the comma. Yes, the comma will come when we start making formulas. All right. Guys, please pay complete attention. Please pay complete attention now. I am clicking on A1, control, clicking on B5. So how many cells are selected? Soumya, how is it one? We have two cells selected, right? Padma, how many cells are selected? So when you say A1 and B5, you're going to represent this selection with a comma. What does the comma mean? That you selected these cells individually. Where is the comma? You don't see the comma right now, but representatively it is mentioned as a comma. Where the comma will come, it will come in the formula when we'll make a formula. So that time you'll understand where the comma came. But remember that representatively it's a comma. Is that okay, everyone now? Understood better, everyone? All right. Let's do one more thing. So again click on A1. Again click on A1. Now instead of control, use shift and click on B5. A1, shift B5. And now tell me how many cells are selected. Ten or 9? 10 or 9? 10 cells. How will I write this? So I have A1 and I have B5. How will I write this? I will write this as A1 colon B5. Colon means from A1 to B5 all the cells. So this is a range or an array or a database using shift. And everyone? What do you mean by that, Param? What do you mean by that? Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Yes, okay. Yeah, Param, you don't need to write in the formula bar. It doesn't make sense. You can just select. All right. Now please observe, everyone. Please observe. Now click on A1. Click on A1. Shift click on B5. A1. Shift B5. And then only control. Leave the shift and click on C9. A1 shift B5. Control C9. And tell me how many cells are selected. Please observe everyone, please don't make me repeat everything. A1 shift B5 control C9. A1 shift B5 control C9. How many cells are selected? 11. How will I write this? How will I write this? Saurabh, check it again. Such some mistake. Perfect. So that will be A1 to B5 comma C9. There's no particular name for this. I just call it combination. So you have to use control and shift both to get however you want it. Make sense, everyone? Make sense? Hmm? All right. Now we're going to learn the first shortcut. So if I am trying to select the entire F column, for example, how do you select the entire F column normally? Yes, everyone, normally what do you do to select an entire column? You go ahead and click on that, right? That's what you do. Yes or no? Otherwise, you can keep your cursor anywhere in this column and press Control space. When you do a Control space, you select the entire column. Make sense? Make sense? Hmm? So I will write this as F to F, meaning this is full column. Okay, when you say F to F means entire F column. There's no limitation of rows, entire, end to end. And this will be control plus space. Now, if you have to select the entire fifth row, what shortcut will you use? Can anybody think and tell me? What will I use to select the entire fifth row? Perfect. So control space was to select column, shift space is to select the full row. And how will I write this? If I have selected the entire row, how will I write this? Perfect. 5 to 5. This is full row. And you used shift plus space for it. Make sense? Make sense? Alright. Now do this. Select the entire C column, control space, and then shift and right key twice. Shift and right key twice. So control space to select the entire C column, then shift right. How will you write this? Control space first, then shift right arrow. Right arrow. You will simply write this like this, C to E. Yes, everyone? Make sense? Make sense? From C to E. And if you had selected 4 to 7, this would be multiple rows. So from 4th row till 7th row. You will have to take notes, Param. This is not going to be possible to remember in one shot. Yes, there are recordings, so you can check out the recordings later, no problem. But if you want your own notes, you got to write it. That's very important. If you want, I can always copy paste this into the chat box. You can ask me for that. That's no problem. So if you want to make notes on the computer itself, you can do this. You can just copy paste. Yeah, so I may forget if you to copy paste. As ever, if you need me to copy paste anything, you can freely tell me. No problem at all. There's nothing proprietary about this. It's for y'all only. So you can just tell me, I'll just copy paste. No problem. But I may forget to copy paste every time. So you'll have to just tell me that, can you please copy paste, and I'll do it. Immediately I'll do it. Good, everyone? Alright, carrying on. Come back to the sheet, everyone. Now let's start typing some data. So in any cell, just type your name and don't press enter or anything. Just type your name and leave it there. Don't press enter or anything at all. Now when you press enter, the cursor goes down, right? It goes to the next row, next cell below. But if you press tab, it will go to the right side. Is that okay, everyone? Tab will take you to the right side. Okay? Yes, everyone? If you want to edit this, edit. So you come onto your cell where you have written a name and you press F2. Okay, for Mac 2011, you'll have to press Control U, U for Uganda. So you'll have to press Control U for editing. For everybody else, it's F2. When you press F2, the cursor starts blinking, right? Everybody, did it work? F2 worked? किसी का brightness कम ज़्यादा हुआ? Anybody's brightness went up or down? Okay, so for you guys, you'll have to use function F2 because you're on a laptop like that. You'll have to use the Fn key to use any of the function keys. Control U for Mac. Done everyone? Done everyone? Hmm? Now you are in the editing mode. So whatever you edit, it will become a part of it. Where is the FN key? It's on your keyboard only now. How do I tell you where? Check next to control on the left side. Yeah, besides control. Check that. It should be there only. Guys, F2 is not for brightness. That's how your laptop works. Okay, so you guys will have to use F2 with the FN key. Actually, F2 is not for brightness. That's how your laptop is configured. For me, my F2 is the volume button. Got it, everyone? So with F2, you can now edit. Good. So you can add whatever you want and again press enter or tab, whatever you like. Yes. Now, let's say you've written something long like this, right? So suppose I write my full name, Shah or Rushabh Jay Shah, right? Now in the next cell, if I put something else, let's say I put Excel, how do I ensure that this entire thing is seen? How do I see this entire thing? So one option is you expand this, right? So when you expand this, you say, oh, itna, how much do I expand? So you just double click there and it will auto adjust. Okay, I'll do it again. So if I double click the here, it will auto adjust to whatever is required. Is that okay, everyone? Second option is come back here, come back like this. Second option is on top there is a button called wrap text. In the home tab, there is a button called wrap text. You click on that button and see what happens. Understood, everyone? But the problem of wrap text is if I now increase the column width, it becomes like that again, how it was. That's the problem with wrap text. It doesn't stay that way. That Rushabh on one line, Shah on one line, Jayesh on one line. Make sense? Make sense? Hmm? So what if I want it like that? What I can do is I can write like this. So everybody please observe. Please observe. I can type my name, press Alt Enter. Type this, Alt Enter, and type whatever I want, and it will remain like that. So try using Alt Enter. Let me see what it is for Mac. Sometimes a line break in Excel, but should return key. Control Option Enter is for Mac. That's what is written here. You can try this, Control Option Enter for Mac. For normal Windows, it's Alt Enter. For Mac, is Control Option Enter. And everyone understood how Alt Enter works? Hmm? Perfect. Now let's get into something different. So just expand one column. Just expand any one column. Just expand any one column. And in that write 1, 2, 3, enter. Just write this much 1, 2, 3, enter. And guys, keep saving your file. If you don't save your file, it will be a problem. Guys, keep saving your file. So when you put a number, numbers are always right aligned. Yes or no? Do you realize that the numbers are always right aligned? Yes, they went to the right side. Yes or no? Below that you put ABC and tell me what happened. So text is always left aligned, right? Now put today's date. What will you put in the date in between, a hyphen or what? So either you can put a hyphen or you can put a slash. Okay, don't put anything else. All right. Do not ever put a dot. Okay. So for some of you, this went to the left side, and for some of you, it went to the right side. Yes or no? Hmm? Okay. So now put the reverse. Put 5272018. One of them will be right, one of them will be left. So now you tell me which one is correct. Right side or left side? Okay. So that's the confusion. You got to remember date is always left aligned. This is text. So in other words, anything that is left aligned is always text. You got to remember this, everyone. Anything that is left aligned is always text. So the question will be, how is it possible? Because if in my case, if you see, because that went to the right side, it is DDMMYY. My computer is DDMMYY. If your 527 went on the right side, your computer is MMDDYY. Is that making sense? What is DDMMYY? DD means the date first, MM means the month, and then the YY. Yes, so in my case, the date is right aligned. That's why my computer is DDMMYY. If your 527 was right aligned, it would be MMDDYY. Yeah, so if ever the hyphen gets converted to slash automatically, that's absolutely fine. At the same time, it should be right aligned. That's the only criteria. Is that okay? Yes, Vanindra. Not on the version. It depends on the not on the version of Excel. It depends on the date settings of your computer. Say my computer is US setting. My MMDTYY will go on the right side. Make sense from here? So it all depends on your control panel setting of date. Fanindra, what's your question? Alright, the time 5 column, why it went to the left? 5 column. Because 27 is not possible, right? 27 months cannot be there. Can there be 27 months? And these are not numbers, these are dates, right? Correct? So these are not numbers, these are dates. Understood? So your question is how does it affect, right? So let's see this, okay? So copy these two dates here, copy these two dates and we'll put a formula and check. So Param is asking how does it affect on analytics? It's a very good question. Let's check that. Let's check that. So if I do, just observe, guys, don't make me repeat this, please just observe. If I do equal to this plus 1, what will I get? I will get 28.5. Okay. But if I do equal to this plus 1, I will get an error. Why? It cannot add 1 to text. Understood? Try this out. Try this out. Understood, everyone? Let's try one more example. So here you put this date 4/6/2018. Below that you put 6/4/2018. 4664. Now it will be extremely clear to all of you with this example. There will be no confusion after this. Put 4/6 and 6/4. What happened? Which date is correct? Which of the date is correct? Both are correct, right? But then do you know which is 4th June and which is 6th April? Difficult to understand. Yes or no? Yes or no? Because both are correct. So now what we can do is we can choose all these 4 dates. Do that. Choose all the 4 dates and press the shortcut Control Shift 3. Control Shift 3. Did you understand, everyone? What happened with Control Shift 3? It changed it to a form. Didn't understand, Madhulika? Control Shift 3 did not work. Control Shift and 3, button 3, number 3. Fanindra, can you share your screen? Guys, whenever I ask you to share your screen, you have to click on that monitor icon. Click on that monitor icon so then I can see what you're doing. Click on that monitor icon. Yeah. No, you'll have to say yes. Date is right aligned, Shashwari. Right aligned. Falindra, you'll have to say yes in that. I can't see your screen anymore. Ah. Now show me Excel. Select the dates. Select those three dates and press Ctrl Shift 3. Are you pressing Control page down by any chance? Are you pressing Control page down by any chance? That will go to the next sheet. Control Shift 3. 3, number 3. Control Shift and number 3. Put the number 3 on the left side. Left side wala 3. Don't use the right side wala 3. There is a page down in that. See, worked. Understood? Understood? Because the right side 3 has a page down. That's why it went to the next sheet. Okay? Understood, everyone? So when you do this, automatically you understand exactly what's happening, what date is which. All right? Perfect. So this was your basic understanding of all this. Now let's go ahead and see one more thing. So just write anywhere on top amounts. Just write amounts anywhere on top. Write amounts. Okay, everyone. Now select the entire column. Select the entire column. Right click and go to format cells. Now in that go to number and you have multiple options. So in this you have decimal places. So after the point, how many digits do you want? That is one thing. Second is called use thousand separator. So you tick on that. You tick on that. And in the negative options, you take the last option. Getting it, everyone? Getting it, everyone? And you press OK. Press OK. Now, whatever you did right now, that setting has gotten applied to this entire column. That setting has got applied to this entire column. So let's see how it works. So now put a number here 125.557. Happened? Hmm? That's fine, Ashwari. It's just a version difference. Don't worry. You see that after the point, automatically there are only two decimal digits. Yes, everyone. If you put 125.5, see what happens. Just put 125, see what happens. Now put 5,000 and see what happens. Understood? You can see the comma automatically coming in. Yes, everyone. Can you see that comma automatically coming in? Now put negative 5,000. You will see that setting what you had applied happens here also. Good, everyone? Understood? Understood? Hmm? Now what we want is that this particular column, so select the entire column. Okay, we want to add some currency symbol. So mind you, whenever you want to write about some currency, if I write this, is this a number or text? Can you tell me? Is it a number or text? Text, right? So you should never write it like this. Okay, never. You want to put a currency symbol, you select your data, and here you have options of currencies. You choose the option of the currency that you want and take it from here. If you want other currencies, you go to more formats. You take this and the currency gets applied. Try this out. Try this out from here. Did you select the entire thing, Padma? It will happen. Why will it not happen? Understood, everyone? Hmm? Okay, so guys, multiple options are available in this. There's nothing to teach in this. So you can just go through all these options and you understand what does what. Is that okay? Hmm? There's nothing to teach. It's just the way the numbers are displayed. Will you check this out later on? Yes, everyone? Perfect. Okay, one thing that you need to understand in this is the percentage. All right. So just I'm going to write a couple of things and you tell me then. So don't do anything right now. Just tell me how this will work. If I write 0.1 and I want to convert this into as a percentage, what will be the percentage value of this of 0.1? 10%, correct? So normally, if you want to convert a number to a percent, do you multiply by 100 or divide by 100? Guys, you will multiply by 100, right? If you want 0.1 to become 100, when you do this, you get this, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? So you'll multiply by 100, yes. But in Excel, you don't need to do that. What you need to do is, so do this with me, right? 0.1, 0.5, 0.2, just put 2, 3 numbers like this. Select all the numbers. And then here you have a percentage symbol. Just click on that symbol. Try this, everyone. Try this. Understood, everyone? Good, everyone? All right. Now let's get on to some other stuff. Okay. Now, for example, you have one more column of numbers. Okay. So let's say you have numbers here and you have 10, 20, whatever numbers you want, right? Now, what is happening is that whatever formatting you have applied to this column, can you see this data? That same formatting you want to apply to this as well. All right. So do one thing to the amounts column, just color it, change the font, do something like this, everyone. And now you want to apply this entire same formatting to the new numbers column also. Let's see how to do that. Let me know once you're done with this much, then I'll show what to do. Hmm. All right. Now select the entire numbers amounts column. Select the entire amounts column. And in the home tab on the left side, there is a yellow color brush which is called as Format Painter. Can you see that, everyone? Can you see that? Hmm? Yes, everyone, can you see that Format Painter? Click on that and then click on the column number, no, that the Q. So I'm clicking on the entire Q column and you will suddenly see that the entire thing got formatted in one shot as it is. You could have done it for a single cell also, but it's for entire column as well. Interesting? Hmm. Okay. Do you all want a 5 minute break before we start some formulas, or should I continue? We can take a 5 minute break if we want. Or should I continue? But not more than 5 minutes, huh? If you want, we can take 5 minutes. You want a break? Okay, everybody's saying continue, let's continue. Alright. Should I repeat? Sure. Alright. So I had this column. Now observe carefully. I select this column, then I click on the Format Painter button, and then I click on this column. That's all that I did. And it formatted that entire column like this. Good, everyone? Hemlata, sorry, but only you are saying, everybody else is saying to continue. I'll have to go with majority. Normally we take only one break, but today it was the first day, so I thought. Sorry. All right. Good, everyone. Shall we continue? Come to the t-shirt sales sheet. Come to the t-shirt sales sheet. So as I was talking earlier that we are going to work as a t-shirt sales example case study. This is that case study. So here you have a list of sales of t-shirts. Okay, so it's a sales data which has 10,500 rows. All right, so it's a pretty big data set that you got to analyze in the entire class. Okay, so we're going to use this as the case to study everything. Now, which are the three data types in Excel? We already saw this, but can you tell me? So one is numbers. What else? What are the three data types? One is numbers. What else? Numbers, text, and dates. Correct? No, symbols is a part of text. Okay, characters is a part of text. So fundamentally, these three numbers, text, and date. Is that okay, everyone? Hmm? Now, look at this data. You will only see those three columns, either a number column or a text column or a date column. Yes. Can you think of your own data, whatever you maintain in Excel, of any other kind of columns? Can you think of anything at all? Price is a number, right? Param, it's a number. Can you think of anything else? Come on, what are you saying? Its size is text. No, right? So that's my point. Diagram is not a data. Diagram is an object, right? Data. Data will be always these three. The fourth is actually a time, right? A time. So if you are having something like a task list or a timesheet, your fourth type will be time, but it is very similar to date. So we're not going to learn about time. But if you ever are working with time, it's exactly the same way that date works. Is that okay, everyone? Hmm? Perfect. Let's go on. Let's go on. So whenever you think of your data, you remember that these are the three things only. So whatever you are learning here, you can apply same way on your data as well. Just remember that. Hmm? Carrying on. So everybody keep your cursor in cell A1 and now you press control and down arrow. For Mac it is command and down. Control and down arrow. Where did you go? Hmm? So you went to a point where the next cell is blank. Actually did not go to the last one. You went to a point where the next cell is blank. Yes or no? Hmm? Make sense? Right? Why? Because just observe, if I delete this particular cell and if I do control down, it stops there. Can you see that, everyone? It stops there. It doesn't go further. All right. Okay. Sorry to interrupt, guys. Yeah. So the same applies for control right, control left, and control up as well. All right. Sorry to interrupt, but can you just tell me who all are on Mac? Guys, just tell me who all are on Mac so I know how to help you out. So at any point I can help you out. Padma and Param. All right. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now going on. Come back to A1. Come back to A1. Come back to A1. Now press Control Shift and down arrow. Where did you go? Where did you go? Again, you went to a point where the next cell is blank, but also selected everything on the way. Yes or no? Understood, everyone? Okay. Same applies for control shift right, control shift left, and control shift up. Simple. Press control A. What does control A do? Control A will do what? Select the entire data, right? Yes or no? So control A does selection of full data, but when you are working in a formula, inside a formula, so I'll show you this later on, but right now I'm just telling you theoretically. When you are working inside a formula, control A does not work to select the entire data. Alright. What you will have to do is this. So come back to A1, everyone. Come back to A1 and do this. Control shift right, and then from directly there, control shift down. So this way also you can select the entire data. Control A does not work inside a formula. So you need to do this. Is that making sense, everyone? Okay, sure. Come back. Control shift right. Directly from there, control shift down. It's not that it isn't good. It's just that it doesn't work when you're trying to select the entire data inside a formula. Let me explain, guys. Let me just show you with an example. So if I'm doing sum of whatever, you're doing any formula. Okay, so if I take count, and if I want to select the entire data set, I cannot press Control A. It does not select the entire data set. But if I want to select the entire data set, I'll have to go here, Control Shift right, Control Shift down. See, it has selected the entire data set. Understood now? Understood now? Hmm? Don't worry, go step by step. I'll show you everything, guys. Don't worry. All right. So this is how you basic shortcuts you use to select your cells. Now, before we carry on, just try to scroll down. When you scroll down, do you know what these numbers are? You may right now know because they are simple data, right? You know price, quantity, and total. But otherwise, you may forget, right? So you want to see your first row all the time. Yes or no? Yes or no? Understood what my question is? Hmm? So come back up, come back up, come back on cell A1. And now go to the view tab, view. In that there is an option called freeze panes. Come to an option called freeze panes. In that, take the second option, freeze top row. Freeze top row. Now you scroll down and see what happens. You will have to find that param. I'm not, so I don't use Mac a lot. It's not by heart for me, but it has to be somewhere. Okay. Till what I remember, I think it's in the View should be in the view menu only. We'll see that I show you right now. We'll see that option too. Don't worry. Understood everyone? Now go back and say unfreeze panes. Unfreeze panes. Param, did you find that option? Did you find that option, Param? Let's check. Here, click on the freeze panes button. It's there. See this? It's there. You just have to search for it. See, here it is. In the layout, in the last option, that's where it is. Layout in the last. So you can just Google like this, the way I did right now, and you'll immediately get it. Okay, Param, did you get it? Padma, Param, both of you, did you find it? Please tell me. Layout tab, last option. That's where it is. Guys, please don't make me repeat everything. Please pay attention. You be in the first cell and the freeze pane, say freeze top row. That's all that you have to do. Good, everyone? Alright. Now, similarly, you have an option of freeze first column. So if I do that and if I go to the right side, I will always have my first column there. That's easy, right? Everybody understood that? Yes, understood that, everyone? What will freeze first column do? Now, the question was, I want to freeze multiple rows. All right. So now I'm going to give you an example. So let's say we want to freeze the first 3 rows and 2 columns. So when you say 3 rows, which are the 3 rows that you want to freeze? First, second, and third. Yes or no? Yes or no? And when you say first 2 columns, you want A and B to be frozen. Yes or no? So if you want to do this, I will keep my cursor on C4. Is that making sense? What will C4 do? How did I get C4? C4 means before C4, whatever is there will get frozen. Right? So on the left of C4, so if I point to C4, that's my cell, right? C4. On the left of C4, how many columns are there? 2. And above C4, how many rows are there? No, there are 3 rows, Fanindra. You have to count the header row also. Right? So I'll keep my cursor here. You don't have to make it yellow. You have to keep your cursor there. And under freeze panes, take the first option, which is called freeze panes. Good, everyone? Understood? This is how you can freeze multiple rows and multiple columns. So if I wanted to freeze only the first 3 rows and nothing else, where will I go? Where will I go? If I want to only freeze the first 3 columns, no rows as such. Perfect. I put my cursor on D1. But if I want to freeze the first 3 rows and no columns, I'll put on A4. Sorry. Make sense, everyone? Cool. So that's how you do this. All right. Padma, you tell me, what is the purpose of freezing? Since when we are doing this only? What is the purpose of freezing? You tell me. So 4 column and 3 rows, Amit. 4 columns. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll have to go to E row, E column, right? And 3 rows. So 1, 2, 3. So I'll put my cursor here if you want 4 column and 3 rows. Correct? Padma and Param, please observe. You can just Google like this, what I have written like this. Anytime you're not able to find your option, just Google like this. You'll get something like this. So this tells me that you are in the layout tab at the last option. That's all that you need to do. And my request is that you upgrade to 2016 version. So then it will look similar to what we are doing. 2016 Mac version is very same to this. So you will have no problem at all. All right, everyone. Can I carry on now? You only have 15 minutes. I wanted to cover the formulas, but we'll just be able to do some today. All right, now just observe carefully. Observe carefully, everyone, what we are starting now. So come to the right side of this. Come to the right side of this and write discount 7%. Here write discount 7%. Hmm? Now we want to calculate the discount at 7%. So now please leave everything and just pay attention. I'm going to say it only once, okay? So leave everything and pay attention here. Equal to, what does equal to do? Equal to means that you ever want to put a formula, the first thing that you have to put is an equal to sign. Alright. Then I'm going to click on this cell. Why this cell? Because I want the discount of that particular value. So if I write 3196, it doesn't make sense. Why? Because it will always pick up 3196, which is static in nature. Alright, so let me put 3196 first and show you. It gives me the value. But if I change this to 400, now this is not updated, right? So if I write this into 7% and I change this value, it will update the value. Is that making sense to everyone? Is that making sense? Yes, everyone? Hmm? So just put this one formula. Let me know once you're done. Now, you want to basically copy this formula down. Yes or no? Yes, you want to copy this formula down. So what will you do? You will either control C and select all this and control V. Yes, you'll either select control C and control V. Okay. Or other option is that single cell on the right side at the bottom, there's a little dot. You can click on the dot and drag it down. Is that okay, everyone? I hope most of you would know this. Yes. Hmm? But if there are 10,500 values, will you sit and drag 10,500 values? No, you just need to double click on that small dot and your formula is created throughout. Go ahead and do that, please. Okay, now get me after discount value. So calculate after discount, everyone. Try that, try that. How will you do it? How will you do it? Simple, the total minus the discount. Yes or no? Total minus the discount. Tell everyone. Now, let's do it in one step. Okay. How do we do both these things in one step? So can I say this minus into bracket 7% of this? Think about this, everyone, and tell me if it makes sense to you. Instead of doing two steps, we could have done it in a single step, right? Do this much, everyone. Done, everyone. Please write done once you're done. Always write done once you're done. All right. Now, in a single step, okay, you say you get the final sales value, final sales with 5% shipping added. Okay. So get the final sales on this, on this. So on 2972, you add 5%. So equal to this plus 5% of this. Yes, everyone. Did you get this? How many of you did minus 5%? Anybody did minus 5%? All right. Now we're going to do one more thing and then we are done for the day. We'll continue next time now. So final sales, rounded final sales. Okay, so this is the one that we are going to actually use for all our calculations. So we are going to call it rounded. So how do you round this? Okay, so everybody please observe when I'm doing it. Just observe. Right now, what is the case that you have multiple numbers with different kind of decimal numbers, right? So after the point you have somewhere 2 digits, 3 digits, 4 digits. So it's difficult to read this column, yes or no? And also, you don't want the values like this to charge the customer. You want to charge the customer a whole number. Yes? Is that making sense, everyone? Hmm? So I'm going to say round. How do you write this? Okay, so you say equal to round. And then you press a tab. So this is the first function that we are learning today. Equal to round. When you say round, it's asking for two things. What are the two things it's asking for? First is a number. So I'm going to say that round this number. Then it's asking for a comma. So you put a comma. And how many digits? So after the decimal, how many digits do you want? Yes, tell me. How many digits do you want after the decimal? If you put 2, you'll get 2. But if you don't want any decimal now, any digits, you can put 0 as well. When you do that, you get a rounded number, a whole number. Try this out, please. Try this out. Done, everyone? Right? With this, we are done with today's session as such. Because if I start something now, it will go on for at least half an hour. So don't worry, we can continue that later. Next class, there's no problem. We will catch up next class. We're just about 10 minutes behind, so not to worry. It's the first class. I don't want to rush it up. All right. So guys, after every class, yes, you have to fill the feedback link. So I put a feedback link in the chat box. Can you all see that feedback link? Yes, everyone. Hmm? Please click on that link and you can start filling the feedback. So this is after every class you have to do this. It will just tell us whether everything is going fine or not. Okay, everyone. It will keep us informed if everything is going fine or not. And feel free to write whatever you write about the class. You liked something, you write that. You did not like something, you write that. So we'll know what to do about it. Okay, Param, what book are you asking for? I didn't understand the question. Don't need to do that anything right now. First, follow the course. Just do what we are learning here. After the course is over, if you want to learn further, definitely I will give you all that. Right now, don't worry about it. Just focus on the course. Everyone's filled the feedback? Not at all. No coding language is required. No coding knowledge is required. All right. If you're done with the feedback, you can leave, guys. We are done for today. Next class, we will start sharp at 10 o'clock. So please be on time. Don't be late. Hmm? Thank you, everyone. Apart from the waterfall chart, you got to make your points for those three case studies, right? For the luxury jewelry, for the travel, and the stock market. All right. See you, everyone, next class. Bye bye.